All right, everybody, this is the Pro Wrestle Zone. We got Showtime, Marcel Williams. He's back. What's going on, Marcel?
What's going on? I'm back, living the life as usual.
Yeah,
Um,
it's tough being an adult, isn't it?
it is tough being an adult. Tell my
Yeah.
son now he's about to be an adult and soon, probably in like a few days. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. So I mean, I tell him every day and get ready.
Well, before we get into that, I just want to say happy birthday to Larry. All right, so
Absolutely,
you
he'll
can
take
tell
it.
him.
You take it, take it.
They don't understand these kids. Before we get into any professional wrestling, but they don't understand these kids. We got to. I always give my kids like we have these extensive conversations on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And they just look at me like I'm crazy, but they'll listen to their older sibling who was kind of a crazy one and not doing much. you know?
Absolutely, that's usually how that works.
Yeah.
And I had those conversations too. And still continue to have them. Um, I have come to fruition, and I was the same way too when I was younger. It's just
Yeah.
he'll find out when he get there, and then
Yes.
when he get there, he gonna think in the back of his mind like, "Damn, my
Damn.
dad told me."
Yeah. It's
So
true though. It's true.
that's how
You're
it
right.
be.
Yeah. So before that, before all we jump in. What else has been going on with you? You've been MIA for a couple months. Not I wouldn't say MIA, but we
I
have been
have,
speaking. But you've been, like I said, adult life. You've gotten a house, and I think we talked about that. Before the break, and
mhm.
you've been working on it, man. I heard you've been doing a little bit of remodeling.
Yeah, doing stuff that I never even did before in my life. That is a shoot. Like I building a fence and building a backyard, a fence in the backyard, repainting the whole deck and stripping it and all that other stuff and putting up poles. I'm trying to make my backyard look like a nice little lounge area where I could just chill out and just lay back and listen to music or even watch wrestling, whatever possible. Just sit on the deck and just chill out.
I don't think this is going to be the week to do any outside work. It's supposed to be 90 degrees throughout the entire week, if not higher.
I gotta cut my grass Tuesday morning, early
Oh,
Tuesday morning, before the
what time?
sun actually come out and murder me.
Hold on. What time you cut your grass? Because I can't stand it. My next door neighbor cuts his at like 8 in the morning.
Okay, so now, okay, here we go. Now, for listeners that is listening or watching us soon, I put in the comment section of what time is best to cut grass. Now,
What's a respectable time to your neighbors? Is my question.
I will say no bull crap, probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Really?
Now, yeah, because my lawnmower is really not that loud because I got the battery one.
Okay.
But I remember back in the day when my father used to go out there and cut grass, and that lawnmower was fucking loud. And I mean, I was like, okay, dude, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, come on, dude. So I would say, around 8:30, 9 o'clock, because that's the time that I would think is respectable. If you don't cut it around that time, you cut it later. Even in summertime, if you're gonna sit here and cut it, I would rather you cut it 6 p.m. because at least the sun is down and you don't have to worry about no heat.
I'm going to tell you when I decide to do my lawn,
Mhm.
it's 10 a.m. to me. That's just my opinion because I feel like everybody in the neighborhood should be awake by then. Even
You
people,
you would think.
you would think. I mean, then you get the freaking crazy neighbor that works overnights that comes out and screams at you because they've been in bed for 2 hours.
Yeah,
Oh, it's happened.
I believe it. I
So,
believe it. I have been like that. I've been in that position before. Work overnight and got 2 hours of sleep, and then all of a sudden somebody will run the lawnmower or do some type of work. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
fully understand, but it sucks doing the lawn later on in the day. It does.
absolutely does.
It does.
But yeah, that's to me that's a
What's your
respectable
favorite
time.
thing to do as a lawn work though? You got a
Do you want
favorite
more?
thing to do?
I put in my earbuds. I listen to some, probably heavy metal or, because it's the only thing I could actually tolerate while I'm mowing the lawn. I can't listen to a podcast because hearing people talk when I'm doing like work on the house and stuff like that
Yeah.
drives me nuts. It really does. It's just like when I'm trying to do something, whether it's housework, like rebuilding something or trying to put something together, if somebody's talking
Hmm.
to me, you're annoying the hell out of me. So listening to whether it be Busted Open or any of those kind of like any podcast or something like that. Nah, man, I'm sorry. It's got to be music. Usually, I listen to something that will get me a little bit pumped up, like Judas Priest or AC/DC or something a little bit on the heavier side.
It varied. I listen to some hip hop, some Motown, some some yeah R&B. It I'm basically a randomizer. I just like sit here and press the button and it plays whatever I listen to it.
Let me ask.
But
Let me ask you, what is your favorite Motown artist? We're gonna probably go like sideways. We haven't even touched the wrestling topic.
now we haven't.
No, that's
You
all
know,
right.
I like the Temptations. Temptations. That's
They're
my favorite.
fantastic. They're
They
fantastic.
are.
Yeah, I worked in a record store for something like 30 years. I was opened up to a lot of different music from obscure metal, punk rock. I really got into like I still have a really extensive R&B and soul collection for my 45s. I also DJ'd and I would sometimes just do a set of all Motown.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Bobby Womack's
All right.
and the Otis Redding
Mm-hmm.
and some other things, some other oldies.
You could thank or I could thank with Otis for bringing my wife and I together.
Nice.
She was listening to him or listening to music at work, I should say. And I said, "Hey, what are you listening to?" And she's like, "Otis Redding." I said, "Oh, okay." I just walked away. She had no idea how big of a fan of his or R&B and soul that I was, like especially from that era. She
Yeah.
thought that I was like, ugh, disgusted or something to
Like,
that
how
effect.
dare you?
Yeah, exactly. But until we actually started talking about music some months later,
Nice.
you know.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nothing goes wrong with the late Otis Redding.
no, that guy. I mean, he gets credit for a lot of stuff he did, but there's some stuff like a lot of the artists that came through the 80s and 90s and currently they can't touch him, man.
Nah, I kind of feel like he was ahead of his time.
Oh yeah,
He was ahead of his time.
not just in that kind of music, but in rock and roll too.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he influenced a lot of like rock and roll artists. Like his music, his shows, his performance, it was just crazy, man. It was just real raw and energetic.
Yeah, even recently, like I said, I haven't been on here for a while. We lost Tina Turner, and I was listening to a lot of Tina Turner. A
Yeah.
lot, not even after she passed away. I was listening to it before because
What
Tina
about
Turner
Ike and
fan.
Tina? Ike and Tina? Or
Ike and
just Tina?
Tina. I
Yeah.
listen to Ike and Tina, and then I listen to Tina as well. But
Yeah.
Tina Turner was a really talented performer.
I 100% agree. Literally. She was
Yeah.
in the her as a youngster in her was that 70s era, man. She was
Hmm.
beautiful.
She
Not
was
that
a
she wasn't
monster.
beautiful. Oh my god, her vocals and she was beautiful, man. She was
Hmm.
just
And she
yeah,
can move.
absolutely.
Shredded.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shredded, yeah.
It's amazing to think about all that stuff. You know that there's just some of that music that it's just some people might not give that credit to or just don't even care about. They'll overlook it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. You got to run in, don't you?
That I'm trying to figure out. I hear people upstairs. I don't know what the hell. Can you hear it?
I heard it. And I was
All
like, oh,
right.
you got to run in.
I was about to hit the mute. As long as we keep talking, then we probably won't. But
No, we good.
My wife is upstairs frying some fish for dinner and making some
Nice.
homemade mac and cheese. So
What
I'm
kind of
looking forward
fish?
to. I have no idea. I just let her
What's your
buy it.
favorite fish?
Whiting, I guess. I don't know. I guess that
Is
she
it?
uses that sometimes. And what's the other one? There's something else.
Uh,
Tilapia that she uses
tilapia.
sometimes. Yeah.
I like catfish. Catfish is good.
I don't know if I've ever had that before. I could have because I just,
Never had cat.
let her pick out whatever the hell she's doing, and we just go to the register and pay.
Listen, that's your mission going forward. Find
Is it
some
get catfish?
catfish
All right.
and eat it, yo. It's good. Even though they bottom feeders, I understand that. Somebody always
outta
wants to throw that in my face all the time. But catfish is real good.
You know what? By the next time we film, or next time we record our next episode, which will be next week, I'm just gonna have to do that. I'm gonna make it a point to. I got some time.
You got some time? Okay.
I got some time. Why not? I think I'm thinking now. See that my job. We just every June is considered end of year for my company. It's like a halfway through, the year, but it's actually considered end of year, June 30th. So I'm really excited to actually be able to breathe again, not have to have any pressure on me
Nice.
for trying to meet goals and all that other crap. So, and we're not allowed to take any time off during the month of June at all. So, with the exception of be like, oh, I can make my doctor's appointment that'll probably last 2 hours or something like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Unless there's a death or something like that. And so I'm literally just looking forward to taking a day or so off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah. And a couple things that I do want to talk about. All right. I just did newer episodes are going to air, newer interviews we're going to air. I just did an interview today with Jack Victory, of course, of he was the flag bearer for the sheep herders, and he was part of the New Zealand militia with Rip Morgan and tag team with John Tatum and World Class, and part of Hot Stuff International as well with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Missy Hyatt. So that interview is going to be posted sometime this week, as well as I did one with Al Burke, WWF enhancement talent from the early 90s. And of course, the actor was in The Wedding Singer. He played Billy Idol's bodyguard on the airplane. If you remember that scene.
I remember that scene.
You remember that scene? All right. I did a nice, probably hour and 10-minute interview with Al. Probably the nicest guy I've literally ever met. And so I want everybody to go ahead and look for those coming up in the next week or two between those two. Jack Victory was awesome to talk to. He had a great career. And, obviously he went in the late 90s. He came out. He was retired for about a good 6 years. Came out of retirement, joining ECW. So I want everybody to look for that. It was a pleasure to talk to that guy. Seriously, he was just he was awesome. So, and of course, July 29th, I'm going to be at the New England Fan Fest as part of representing this podcast. So I want everybody to go and take a look, come by and say hello.
Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
So we had some really good wrestling as of late, didn't we, this past weekend?
We had a lot of wrestling for the last few weeks now.
Yeah. Professional wrestling, WWE. Now I haven't been really necessarily keeping up on Raw and SmackDown as much. I usually do when we know we're going to be talking about it, you know what I mean? Or so if I don't necessarily, I give an attempt. I do. I swear. It's kind of rough sometimes. However, and I think that we've discussed this before, their pay-per-views have been monstrous as of late. They've been nonstop, really, really good for, I think, pretty much the whole year. Mm-hmm. And Money in the Bank was definitely no slouch. I think that this show was very good, top to bottom.
Yeah, I agree. They're PLEs.
Oh, I'm sorry, PLEs. Sorry.
PLEs.
Yeah.
You know what that means, right? I haven't been a while since I said that.
Premium
live events. They have been on point. Yeah. Ever since from let's go all the way back to last year's SummerSlam when the changeover, I'm put my fingers up like that. The changeover from Vince to Triple H. But it's been on point. They have treated the PLEs like a big event. You look forward to them, and it seems like back in the day of takeovers when they was competing with the PPV events. But now these events has been must see. They trying to do different locations where they get paid to come down, which is Puerto Rico for Backlash, a few other shows that they went out and did. This one they didn't get paid for though. This one was actually WWE's money. So this was a big event. I enjoyed the entranceway that they continue to have for these events. Even though they added a little different one. They added a little different one with the big screen in the back, so it could show a big time event instead of having a little small screen with the curve alleyway. They decided to add some little glitz to it, and I like that.
My question is this: before we start breaking down any of the matches, were you surprised by any of the outcomes on this?
A few outcomes, a few that I expected. But I was surprised with a few of them. Which, as we go forward with it, I'll let y'all know what I was real surprised about.
I was surprised by two outcomes on this match. I mean, on this card. Excuse me. One, I was not necessarily. So we're gonna break down this show. The arena, as always, looked beautiful. WWE does a top notch with their production. The filling the place. They're just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, they are. Nobody could top their
production.
Their production. I mean, it's top notch. You can't sit here and compete with it, and it just can't. No sport can compare to WWE production. No sport.
No matter
how much they try.
Look how much money the NFL or the NBA or MLB have. There's just no way that during their championship series or Super Bowl or what have you that they're ever going to do. I mean, well, with the exception of like say the halftime show, but there's still WWE's production is just another level. Like,
it is
just something very beautiful about it. It's appealing to the eye. The fans just they just know what they're doing, literally.
Yeah, they do. They do. Kevin Dunn and the whole team as a whole, they know how to catch that eye of a fan that decides to want to join in for the first time ever.
Yeah, and it works. I'll tell you that. So of course we had the men's Money in the Bank open the show. That I expected. I was expecting that, didn't it? It's just we had Damian Priest, Butch, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. My pick was LA Knight, but I just had something in my gut, knowing that Damian Priest was going to walk away with this. Literally, I think a lot of people's picks was LA Knight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, going in, everybody kind of was hoping LA Knight, with the pop that he's been getting lately for the last few weeks, he would be the man to grab the Money in the Bank briefcase. While we was having these qualifying matches and all that stuff going in the past, we seen that if Cody Rhodes wasn't in it or any big star wasn't in it, LA Knight was in line for that briefcase. I kind of figured Damian Priest may be the second place person to get it if LA Knight wasn't the one, because the way they was teasing it throughout the weeks with Finn Balor, whether he was threatened by Damian Priest winning the briefcase. But I really thought LA Knight was going to take it. I really thought he was the one to take this briefcase going forward to any championship that he wanted to get. But this match right here, this opener, was real good. And I just want to say, Logan Paul almost killed his damn self. Like, between that freaking... I praise Ricochet for still trying to catch that grip on that rope and still try to do the Spanish fly off the rope. And God bless Logan Paul, because he really took that on top of his head. And I'm glad he's okay, but if it would have went out right, it would have been spectacular. It would have been real spectacular. It's still spectacular now, but Jesus. Like, it was ridiculous.
I cringed when I saw that, to be honest with you. God bless Ricochet, man, for doing that move and those two going through the table, because it wasn't like a regular table break. Like, you know how it makes that sound? It sounded like a thud when they hit it, as opposed to a crack. It sounded way worse. And they just, like you said, God bless Logan Paul. This is a guy, he's a YouTuber, okay? He's not, I mean, I guess on a technical level, he's a professional wrestler, but this is a celebrity that's getting involved in professional wrestling. And this is a guy that's literally come out here. He's probably, what is he, 4 matches into his career? 5, maybe?
Probably 5. Yeah,
5?
5.
He's put his all into it and shows that he wants to be a part of the world of professional wrestling. And high praises to him, because any guy that is going to go out there and do the things that he does, God bless you, seriously, because a lot of times when people try to get into the world of professional wrestling, they're like, yeah, F you kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, he is going above and beyond to prove his worth and his love for the world of professional wrestling.
Nah, he really is. You know, for the last few weeks, we was wondering why this dude was even added to the match. Obviously, he was added to the match just to add a star to the match, because before this, you had all the up and comers. I don't want to say Shinsuke Nakamura's up and comer. Let me take that back, or a few other people, but they're trying to work themselves up the ranks to get the World Heavyweight Championship or the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Yeah, I got it right, because now throughout the few weeks they got it all together again. All right. So, these guys, they put it all online. This was a great opener. But everybody wanted LA Knight to win, but obviously we got the surprise of Damian Priest. And I'm not saying that Damian Priest don't deserve it. He deserves it as well. After that great performance a few weeks ago with Bad Bunny, it's well deserved. And there's a story moving forward now, because now he has the briefcase. We gonna see later on, as we talk about later on, what that led to.
Before we get into that, I do want to say that Damian Priest has worked his ass off for years.
Yes, he has.
Ring of Honor, through coming into NXT to coming up here. That dude, I'm not going to say, he really does deserve it, and I'm glad to see him, because I've been watching him a long time. And to see him coming in and to getting his shine, that means in the next year, he is going to become the WWE champion, one of the championships. I'm guessing it's just going to be off of Rollins, the belt that Rollins has. I don't think it's going to come off of Roman.
Nah.
I'd be shocked if it did. I'll tell you that much. I would make for great TV, make for a great moment. But to see this happen to a guy, come up from watching him in the Indies to coming up and winning this, there's very few chances of a guy not coming in, I guess. History says, I should say.
Especially at his age.
Yes.
Him and
he's
LA
40
Knight.
something years old, correct? I mean,
yeah. He's a few. He's like probably a little bit years older than LA Knight. Like both these guys, you gotta praise them, because WWE don't want these people that's at this age, which is ridiculous to me. Because you got AJ Styles and a few other people on this roster that's the same age that moves just like they do. But
isn't
LA
AJ
Knight
45 years old or something like that, or 40?
Yeah, something like that. You got
Yeah.
Edge. You got a few other people that's on the roster, and it's just ridiculous. But LA Knight and Damian Priest, they have to prove a point that age is nothing but a number.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. With LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever the hell you want to call him, he has the greatest gift of gab.
Yes, he does.
Could talk, not to mention being a hell of a performer in the ring. But that dude could take that title to many different places.
Yes,
right?
he can.
Yeah.
It's a crime.
It is.
It's a crime.
I mean, yeah, it is, because, this is a guy I've watched. I was in attendance during his last ever Impact match in Queens, New York for Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, it was a pleasure to see him there. It was awesome. And then showed up in the NWA, then showed up in WWE as LA Knight during the middle of the pandemic. It's just, and I've watched him for years before that. He was part of the United Wrestling Network and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Like, this guy has paid his dues, and to see him come into WWE, rise the way he has in WWE, this dude, man, I'm telling you, it would be a damn shame if he does not get at least one title run.
He has gotten over everywhere he has gone. Everywhere.
Yeah, you are correct. You are absolutely correct. So we had the women's tag team title match. Can I make a complaint here about something? This is the platform, correct?
Shoot.
So I read. I have not watched NXT in some time, but they ended up merging the NXT women's belts and the WWE women's tag team belts together.
Yep.
Don't you think that's kind of a little bit ridiculous in a way? To be honest with you, you could disagree.
Before I answer that, why would you think it's ridiculous?
Are the women's tag team champions going to be making that many trips down to NXT? To be honest, like seriously,
It's really not even about that though. You want so I'm gonna
please
let
do.
you know right now.
Please do.
Obviously, these women tag team championships, both WWE and both NXT, ain't worth a shit. I'm just gonna put it out there. They ain't worth a shit. And obviously, we already know Sasha Banks and Naomi, formerly known, they basically left because of this reason. Then they decided instead of just killing this off and just getting rid of it and just bury it, they decided to do a tournament that really didn't even fucking matter in the first place. It did. It did. The only reason I sit here and I disagree with you because it made sense just to put them together. You wasn't doing anything with the NXT Tag Team Championships. You already had the women tag team champions on WWE main roster going to NXT. So you might as well just put them together and just get rid of them. I want them to get rid of this one. I really do. I want them to get rid of this one. I mean, how many times we gonna give it to Raquel Rodriguez or Liv Morgan? How many times? And how many times they gonna regain it? And I mean, I just give up. These titles don't mean shit. They don't mean shit. They don't mean nothing.
I'm going to agree with you on that. Okay, you made your point. I understand. Literally.
So you put shit together. You put the bad shit with the other bad shit and made a big clump of shit. So now we got
bigger pile of shit. Yes.
We got the bigger pile of shit now. So now we got to make this pile of shit look good, which really ain't helping me after the result of this match right here.
Do you remember in the 1980s when the women's titles? I mean, they didn't. I think they took them a little bit more seriously, but they still didn't mean as much. You know, it
wasn't worth the shit. It wasn't worth the shit then either. I'm sorry. They
definitely a very secondary title. Like it would be on the B or C show or something like that, and they were rarely defended. And sometimes you'd forget that they actually existed. They treat them with a little bit more respect in the modern era. And they act like the modern belts are the first time they've ever had a women's tag team championship. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I noticed that, but I praise the content that I got from the Jumping Bomb Angels and the
what was the other one?
The
beauty, the Glamour Girls.
The Glamour Girls. Sorry. Glamour
no,
Girls.
It took me a second to remember too. Judy Martin and
Leilani Kai.
Leilani Kai. Yeah.
There we go. See, I know my stuff. Y'all try to come at me. Like, oh, y'all know the Glamour Girls. I know the Glamour Girls. I forgot their name. If I would say the Golden Girls, y'all would at me. At Marcel, you know. But yeah, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, they don't mean shit. They don't. I wish they'd get rid of them. Yeah. Truthfully.
I don't know how much I want them to get rid of them than to take them seriously and make them mean something. I know it's very hard in WWE land. Mm-hmm. Just like them merging the two world titles or the two main men's titles, and then all of a sudden, 6 months, not even later, they just, hey, we're going to add a new world title. What? This is not the first time they've done that. Merged titles just for a few months later to add a world title.
That's correct.
It happened when they came out with the big gold, the WWE version of the big gold. They need to they just need to stick with that. I mean, and do something strong with it. And I guess it was the demand of the network that they actually had a secondary title. Each network, USA and Fox, is demanding a singles title for the main title for them.
I understand them. I mean, just had Roman Reigns on SmackDown only. He came on Raw like 4 times a year. So I don't blame the network saying, okay, listen, we need a heavyweight championship because we tired of sitting here not having one and just relying on the United States Championship. So it was understandable. But these women tag team championships, they like legit like no,
Yeah,
no, and no.
I'm going to agree with that. Now that you've convinced me, I get it.
I'm sorry, I convinced you.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
It's all right. And they just need to do something with it to make it mean something, to make the fans actually care about it. That's all.
they do.
Yeah.
I agree with that one.
Available on all streaming platforms. It's professional wrestling's greatest, largest, privately owned wrestling library. All the classic hits, flips, slams, and pins of yesteryear are on one place. It's Ultimate Classic Wrestling. Check out the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, Tito Santana, Rick Martel, a who's who of professional wrestling's greatest spotlight stars ever to grace the squared circle, all in one place. Grab the best seat in the house for memories and mayhem on Ultimate Classic Wrestling.
So the Intercontinental Championship was also up on the grabs, or up for grabs, excuse me. It was Gunther defeating Matt Riddle by submission, crushing his ankle and stretching him throughout the entire match. This was an awesome match, I'm going to tell you. Gunther still on a roll, destroying people, and as much as I hate Matt Riddle's smile, this is a great match. It really was.
Nah, it was a good, solid match. I enjoyed it. Matt Riddle, one of the top performers for WWE. But Gunther continues this Intercontinental title reign of the modern era and continue to try to beat the Honky Tonk Man. So I'm enjoying his reign, his performance lately, even for the last few weeks. Him facing Sami Zayn, him facing Kevin Owens, him facing a few other people that just like is just performing on a level that he is. So I enjoyed this match, and I knew it was going to be a good ass banger of a match. But Gunther continues his reign, and we had a surprise at the end with Drew McIntyre.
Yep, Drew McIntyre's music hit. He came to the ring, and so I guess they're hyping those two up.
Yeah, this was a match that we should have had a long time ago. I mean, but thing is, Drew McIntyre was injured, so
actually his contract expired as well. So I'm guessing with him appearing, that means that he had re-signed, because there was really no word. Correct?
Did his contract really expire? I thought it don't expire.
That was at least the rumor.
Nah. Well, I know the press conference last night, I think Triple H confirmed it, said, he really was injured. He really didn't have no contract.
Okay. So. Did you actually watch the press conference?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you're brave, man.
Jeez. That's how sometimes you get all your information from the press conference,
Yeah, no,
unless somebody eating their muffins and burying EVPs or whatever,
Okay. I'm gonna maybe I should start watching that for the reference of the for this TV show, or this podcast rather. Excuse me.
You learn a lot of stuff from these press conferences, believe it or not.
Yeah. No, I every time I mean to, it's usually like I end up having to watch the show after, so I'm just like, well, there's no point in watching the thing.
I feel you. Excuse me, people.
It was from there we had is that before we get into that, I'm sorry. Is that a match that you look forward to, Gunther and Drew McIntyre, and how do you see that coming out?
I can see Gunther. I don't know, man. I think it'd be a shame for them to have Gunther lose a championship when he's so close to Honky Tonk Man's record. I mean, he'll reach it by I think the end of September. So, like, he's almost there. So, it'd be a shame for them to have him lose to McIntyre while he's so close. So, I don't see Drew McIntyre gaining anything by beating Gunther. So this is a guy. I don't care.
He's held many championships already in WWE, between the world title, he's held the tag titles. He's held everything, basically, for the most part. He's held the Intercontinental before, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Am I correct? Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Like he said,
that was his first championship he ever won in WWE.
I think that for the purpose of Gunther pushing Gunther even further, that with a win over Drew McIntyre, it could be very beneficial to Gunther's career. And I think that If it was up to me, I would not be taking this title off of him anytime soon. Like this
Nope.
guy should set a record, not one day after the Honky Tonk Man's thing, but many, many months down the line or year or so. Because this guy, to me, he's been putting on some of the best matches in WWE. Period.
Yeah, for
Period.
the last few months.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No matter who he's in. I mean, his WrestleMania match was a banger. Like, what was the other one? Didn't he do a 3-way shortly after that? There was a 3-way. Help me here. Crap.
No, that's the only 3-way he ever did.
Is it? Was that the 3-way? Okay, maybe I'm just thinking of that one.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the only 3-way.
There was another match
one,
that he
and then
had that was killer after that too, and I just can't remember what it is.
He had a few matches with like I said, Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. He had I gotta think of a few other people, but he has have some real good matches throughout the months that's been capitalizing on his reign that's making it look so good compared to Roman Reigns.
Well, the Intercontinental title is known as the Workhorse Championship, really.
And he's been the workhorse.
Yeah. I mean, this dude is possibly one of the top performers in WWE. I wouldn't be surprised like how far he actually goes in that company with any other championship as well.
I agree.
Yeah. It's just legitimately, how would they market him? That's the other thing I'd have to sit and think about. You know what I mean?
I would say that they probably would market him just like they're marketing Roman Reigns, like a dominant heel champion that can't not be beat. Would I say it'd be a long reign? It probably would be, but that seemed like that's the thing these days, which is a good thing. Make the
going back to the old school.
Make the title look more meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. Bruno, Pedro, guys like that. Hogan,
Brett, Sean.
Let's see. From there, we went to Cody Rhodes and Dominic Mysterio. Cody went over. This one, I'll let you take this one.
It was solid, but the night before on SmackDown, we had Michael Cole say this was the main event of Money in the Bank.
Huh. It's the fourth match.
But somehow it was a 4-round match in. So I don't know whether that was a mix-up. I don't know whether it was a joke. I don't know what it was. I had to rewind it just to believe what he said. And he said that this was the main event of Money in the Bank. It was going to close the show. But obviously things changed for the better. And this was solid. Cody gave him his little spots that he needed to do. And then Cody took over and just won the match. But as we go forward to this next match, I just want to ask this question about Cody Rhodes. Sure. So do you think after the result of the main event of Money in the Bank, do you think Cody Rhodes' story has went like kind of watered down a bit now since what happened as we go into the main event?
That is a very good question. It's probably one that just can't necessarily be answered at this present time. We have to see what's going to happen next, I think. You know what I mean? So to make that final decision, because the main event shocked the world, I guess you can say.
Yeah, it did.
We got 2 other matches to talk about before we get to that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, because I really want to talk about that because it is something just insane that to think about. It really is. That a lot of people are making a huge, huge deal about it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So the women's Money in the Bank match. This went about 18 minutes. It was okay.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
The right woman won.
I was actually surprised at that. I actually had no idea where it was going to go, to be honest with you. But the crowd absolutely loved her and Zelina Vega's performances.
Yeah.
They were behind both women the entire match.
And I just want to put out there, that was a great finish.
Yes,
I like the handcuff finish. I like the way they put that together.
Do you like when Becky was fish hooking Bayley's face she put the handcuff end right in her mouth and pulled her down to but that's how they got there. That's how they got there before they ended up getting handcuffed so they couldn't move at all.
Well, I did like it until the camera guy fucked up, and it's coming out of Bailey's mouth, and Bailey took the handcuff, put it back in her mouth. So I guess Kevin Dunn was like, "Please switch the camera because it shows that she's trying to put it back in her mouth."
Yeah. So. There's a couple spots I thought the camera caught in this match. There was one in particular with, I think it was Trish going into the ladder. It looked like she was purposely setting herself up to roll. The roll was just not very good looking when she landed flat.
Are you talking about Trish? Are you talking about Trish Stratus roll?
Yeah, it was somewhat early in the match.
The tumble.
Yes, it looked terrible. It looked like it was very choreographed and very. Oh, she looked like she was trying to do that.
It was trash.
Yes, I'm glad we're in agreement to that.
But. Trish Stratus, listen, going into this match, I swear to God, I was like, first of all, Trish Stratus is the person that pops out to me in this match because she's never been in a ladder match at all. No. And plus the age that she is now, like I was not expecting her to do anything.
She's there for star value.
That's it. And even that final spot where it was taking her out, where Becky did something to her, that looked sketchy as well. Like she didn't even jump up high for Becky. She basically just sat there and said, "I'm just going down." She did. I don't know if you remember the Raw when Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels. And he did a pedigree.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And Shawn Michaels never jumped up in the air. He just sat there and did his knees and did the pedigree. That was the same thing what Trish did to Becky.
It looked bad. Yeah.
It looked terrible.
It was horrible. That's a shame. That she was a pro back in the day, She
was, but you know what? I explained this. I explained it. I said it yesterday. Trish Stratus was good for her time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you got women that is way beyond better than her.
Now she's like 40, 45, 47, something like that years old. She can't take the bumps like she did when she was in her prime. Her body, after years of doing all that stuff, can't take the beatings, I guess you could say.
Exactly. And yoga, no yoga, bumps still hurt. And they take time to heal as you get older. So I was surprised that she was even in this match. She was way out of her element. You could tell.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they just put her in there for star value. That was it.
Yes, they did. Like Logan Paul.
Yes. Yeah. They're going to get that crowd, that crossover crowd, just to tune in. And that was like, hey, we're going to get that crossover. Maybe the people that used to watch Trish Stratus to tune in.
But I joked yesterday talking about this. Boy, how far have we come into the world as legends of divas that we had somebody that looked like Trish, and then when we grew up, we was watching somebody like Fabulous Moolah,
who was already 50 something years old,
who was already 50, but now we looking at Trish, who was 50. Boy, do time change in this world, right?
Women are taking better care of their bodies, better care of their cosmetic, I should say.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's a little, We'll clip it there because God, it could get worse.
it could get worse.
It could get worse.
I could talk about school teachers, how they look now. It's crazy.
We used to have ratchety old women when we were kids.
We did. And now I go to a parent conference and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's like there's no way you're a teacher.
No, how?
It's true. It's damn true. So.
Coming June 18th to Ultimate Classic Wrestling, it's the Wormez Chicago Library, featuring Bob Loose Monsters of the Mat, Hall of Fame Classics, the Chicago Challenge, and more. Relive all the hits, flips, slams, and pins. June 18th, exclusively on Ultimate Classic Wrestling.
Join us if you dare.
If you want to see more classic wrestling from the Savoli Wrestling Library, head on over to the Ultimate Classic Wrestling Network, available now on all major streaming platforms.
So we had Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. This is a cool down match, basically. It was a very good match.
Yeah, a match that was 7 years in the making, even though they had matches in between the 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, that's the way WWE is going to market everything. You know what I mean? They acknowledge nothing. Well, you know what I thought was weird. Hang on, they acknowledge during the Gunther and Matt Riddle match, they acknowledged their match in progress, which was crazy. Michael Cole made a reference to their match when they wrestled for Progress.
Yes, he did.
Which I thought that was wild. And I'm sure that's on the WWE network because they own a lot of the Progress content.
Yes, they do. But I thought Vince was asleep or something. He snuck that in. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, they do own the content. So I like when they do a callback to one of the indie promotions of the matches that they did in the past. I like that.
They did that at WrestleMania too with Owens and Zayn's gear. They had the Pro Wrestling Gorilla on their tights and trunks, which was just holy crap. So the last few months have been wild, I guess, with their references. So they're Easter eggs, I guess they call them, right?
Vince taking a nap.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor. This was a very, very good match. I thought it was a very good match.
It was a solid TV match. I kind of feel like it could have been on a Raw.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it was a calm down match because the women's ladder match was very action packed. But it was the one that, there's always a cool down match before the main event or after a very exciting match before the main event type thing. And it's a shame that the world title match has to be the cool down match. That's my personal opinion.
That is a shame. But I like the little story that was done for the end where Finn Balor was going to take it. And then also he looked at Damian Priest like, if I hit this and win, he could cash in on me. So I like the story being told right there. And it's a little bit wedge just showing between the Judgment Day. Obviously, everybody going to have a rumor where JD McDonough is about to join in with them. And then they probably let go of Damian Priest. But, it's stories being told. Get you invested, look at Raw. So that's one of them that I like. I don't want them to break up the Judgment Day. I like the Judgment Day.
No. Judgment Day is good. It took a little while for them to click with me. A little bit. Not too crazy.
They were Job Squad at first.
Yes. But all the talent involved was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The exception of one. But anyways, Dominic, I think that Judgment Day has raised Dominic's stock, so to speak.
Yes, they have. Ex-con Don.
Let's just say it was in did he spend some time in jail in London?
2 hours.
Yeah. This was fun. This was very fun. But now it's main event time. Okay.
Yes, it is.
It was the first time in over 1,000 days, which was almost 3 years, probably, maybe leading up to it. That Roman Reigns has been pinned. Main event: Jey Uso pinned his cousin
since
Roman
December
Reigns.
of 2019.
The whole world is buzzing about this. Roman being pinned, and obviously he didn't feel too good about it. You saw him screaming and crying outside the ring afterwards. He was in shock.
Yeah, he was destroyed.
Many times where I thought that I stayed off of social media because I didn't watch the match. There's many times I thought Roman and Solo were going to take this match, and the Usos kept kicking out, especially that pile up at the end.
Yeah, this match really. I tell you what, this match really had every story throughout the whole 3 years in it. You had the stack pile up that he did with Edge and Daniel Bryan, and a few other like the choke spot towards Jimmy where he choked him out in the Hell in a Cell to make Jay quit. Everything in this match story was told each by each chapter throughout Roman Reigns' reign, and I enjoyed it. It was a good tag match. Storyteller. Listen, Roman Reigns, and I don't know if I said it before, Roman Reigns is at the top of his game. Yeah. He is legit the guy. This guy sat here while we was sitting here shitting on him and sitting here booing him and doing all this other stuff. This dude was learning to be the guy. And when I sat there and watched him last night, even when I watched him come down the aisle at WrestleMania, he know he's the guy. He know he has found himself. This is the Roman Reigns that we've been asking for a hot minute. And this guy is great. But this tag match was real good.
There was something that was missing from Roman, and 3 years ago, 2019 it was, he found it.
Yes,
Okay. It
the
was,
pandemic did it.
yeah,
I-
you could be on top of the game. There's just something missing. And then during the pandemic, boom, it started. And
Yes, it did.
that was it. It was just off to the races. Yeah.
What you thought of this finish? What you thought of the climax?
I loved this match.
This match was
I
great.
really did. I sat there. I watched it this morning. My wife's sitting there doing somebody's hair, working from home, and I'm sitting there watching it on my laptop, getting ready for the show.
Mhm.
I kept just yelling random stuff out, like, "God damn, I can't believe this!" Like everybody's looking at me, like, "I'm sorry, I'm just watching, the WWE show." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I just kept yelling stuff out. I was like, "God damn, why is this happening?" So I'm like, you know how I get, Marcel. It was just, I was popping, and I was really into this match, beginning to end. And it took a while for the Usos to get going. It really
Yes,
did.
it did.
After a while, though, this match was this is a very emotional match. It really
Yeah, it
was.
was.
If you're the viewer watching, you're going to prepare to be invested into this match because it is very dramatic. Honestly, very, very dramatic.
Yeah. And I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this main event, but the shocker was Jey Uso getting a 3 count on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like I said, he haven't been pinned since December 2019 by Baron Corbin, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just to the point now. As now we rewind and go fast forward with Cody Rhodes or anybody else that's going to take the championship.
So-
It's not special no more. If for a guy that got beaten last night.
Well, I don't know if that's true. In a way, and
Okay.
I'll explain that. Michael Cole has said last night it is possible that Roman Reigns can be pinned. He put the emphasis on that. It can
Yes.
happen. So my next thing is that the storyline between Jay and Roman is going to continue. It's going to come back. Remember the feud that they
Yes.
did during the pandemic? They wrestled each
Yep.
other during the. I think it's going to come back in a way. I mean, not that it ever really went away.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to end up having a singles run, and obviously, we're going to have to see where that goes. I don't think they're going to take the title from Jay. Obviously.
Nah, they're not
I
going
mean
to take it.
from Roman, excuse me, and put it on
Yeah.
Jay. But I think that there's a lot that can be said and a lot that can be told with him doing a title, like a small, a small program going forward with this.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Seriously.
No, it is. It is. I look forward to seeing that match again. The story's there. Jey Uso got main event. Jey Uso got the win on Roman, and this should build up for him to have the confidence to take the undisputed WWE Universal Championship for Roman, which is not going to happen.
You got that. You got
I
that.
got it right.
Oh,
Listen, after they put the belts together, now I understand.
Hi, this is Bob Smith. You might remember me from my years at Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. Well, now I've started a brand new podcast called The Outdated Wrestling Hour. Yes, we're going to take a whimsical look back at the wrestling figures, stars, and trends from years gone by. We're talking 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and a whole lot more. There's going to be laughs, there's going to be fun, there's going to be action, you name it. Please tune in for The Outdated Wrestling Hour wherever you get your podcasts.
So my next question is, we haven't discussed this because they presented the new belt. What's your opinion on that belt? I don't know. Is it better than the last one? Is it? We never got the chance to discuss that on air. I don't know if I like it any better or worse. I just think it's
The belt is ass.
just like the other two belts were ass.
The belt is nothing but color of Skittles. Different colors. Same design.
Yeah. I'm not pleased
Ass.
with it either. I was very confused, but I'm sure next time they'll do the draft next year. With the next draft, they're just going to end up. I don't know. It's just very
I
confusing.
wish they just burned that design. That design is ass.
The WWE does not make any championships that look like championships. The world title belt that they made looks more like a championship, but looks like a freaking toy.
It
To
does.
be honest with you,
All
a lot
they
of people-
like toys, except for
lot
the
of people-
Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, a lot of people are in love with that new world title that Seth has. I'm
Shit
appalled
ass
by it.
too.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people, like, oh no, it reminds me of the WCW. But nope. It
And
looks the
since
same.
we on here,
Yeah,
I want to talk about this belt because
Sure.
Michael Cole was talking about this belt at what was it? What was the last event? Oh, the Night of Champions or whatever,
Okay.
or Clash of Champions, whatever it was.
Night of Champions. Yeah.
Night of Champions, yeah. Where the fuck is the ego on the belt? I can't see the ego on the belt.
Is there? Is there supposed
I
to be?
see the
I don't know
lion.
because there's supposed to be a lot of tributes to previous belts on there, and I'm just like,
I'm
it's
still
just-
looking for the eagle.
Yeah.
Let me look up here.
I'm gonna have to get an official layout of this damn thing so I can look at it. It's just I don't appreciate that new title at all.
Yeah, they try to do the big gold belt with their twist on it, with their logo on it.
Yeah.
So they try to do.
Oh, my friend. So before we got another thing that we got to discuss here before we say goodbye. Of course, former WWE Superstar Droz has passed away June 30th, which was 2 days ago. Droz, former LOD 2000 member.
Mhm.
Of course, he was injured in a match against D'Lo Brown when D'Lo slipped, going for a power bomb. He was paralyzed from the neck down. Eventually, at some point, he ended up getting some feelings in his arms.
It's unfortunate, and I do remember that news flash when he said that he had started getting feelings in his arms and stuff, which was a great plus. But it was unfortunate that it's one of those situations, just like the Owen Hart thing. October 1999. I remember they never aired this episode. It was cut from the tape
Library.
like
Yep.
SmackDown. Yeah, so it's unfortunate. D'Lo Brown still live it to this day. It was just a straight up accident. It's just unfortunate. Obviously, I guess WWE and Droz basically settled still, but he always kept good spirits. Even to the day he died, he kept good spirits. So I give condolences to his family and friends because he still kept good spirits during all this. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I've seen him in some documentaries or television specials. He seemed still relatively happy with himself, though he had suffered from such a terrible injury. I really feel bad for him and his friends and family. So it's he's going to be missed, even though he had a very short wrestling career. He was known for his time in football mainly, and of course, like I said, joining the LOD 2000 briefly, trying to persuade Animal that Hawk was a bad person. If you remember that correctly.
I remember that. Well, yeah, we shoved him on Titantron. Yeah, I remember all that.
Yeah. So, Showtime, what do you got? What else you got going on, or what else would you? Is there anything else you'd like to put out there before we go?
That's mostly it. Everything else we went over. We'll be back again to talk about some more wrestling. Whether it's WWE, whether it's AEW, was any news that's popping up, which we will catch up on real soon. But appreciate being back on here again. Pro Wrestling Zone.
I am very excited to have you back. And folks, everybody, make sure you go like, subscribe, share. We are at, I think it's 27,000. No, 20. Jesus Christ, I can't even speak. 2,722 members. That's exactly what I want to say. We're trying to push this show to get to 3,000, which means we're only about 2,000 and 70 something away. I want everybody to try to help us get there. Once we hit the 3,000 mark, I'm going to have a huge giveaway, which obviously is going to take some time. We got episode 300 coming up soon, which I promise is going to be a gigantic episode. We're going to have lots of guests and lots of fun. There might be liquor involved, and if there is, I'm sorry in advance.
That's true fact.
True. If anybody's heard me while I've been drunk on the show, trust me, you've heard me. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you, Marcel, for jumping back in.
No problem.
And everybody, check us out. Thank you very much.